Despite gold being stuck in a range, is there still money to be made in this space? With us today is E.B. Tucker, editor of the KC Report. E.B., welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
So offline, we were looking at the gold-silver ratio, and you were telling me, look, it's only been at these levels 4 times in the last 20 years. What's it telling us here, and how should we be reacting to it?
So it's the number one indicator that we watch when we're looking at putting money to work in the gold space and recommending mining stocks. The last 3 times it happened, the HUI went on a tremendous run. We're talking 150 to 250%. And that means that it's a great time to speculate in mining stocks. Sometimes you have to wait 30, 60 days, but this indicator has been foolproof when you look back 20 years. And so for us, it means it's a good time to get involved.
So would you be choosing the silver miners over the gold miners?
Believe it or not, when we back tested this, it doesn't matter. You find that the stocks take off, there's a lot of interest in the sector, and money kind of comes back to the space. And so you actually want to buy stocks that have had a hard time in the downturn.
Okay, so give us some names here. Who would you be eyeing?
So when you look at silver stocks, I mean, you want to play it where you buy the bigger guys and the smaller guys. So in the bigger guys, you take a company like Core that's got a new management team. You know, it had a hard couple of years, 4 or 5 years ago. They're back. They're doing the right thing. I've met with them personally.
Right.
I like what they're doing. Stock's cheap. First Majestic cut a decent deal in January.
Right.
We looked into that deal. It's a great deal. We think when silver moves, when gold moves, and the mining stocks move, you'll see First Majestic move more than its peers.
So would you be in the miners or in physical?
I'd be in the miners right now. When you see this gold-silver ratio get really tweaked, you want to be in the miners. That's where the move's going to happen. Sure, you're going to get a great move in silver and gold, but it's not going to be anything compared to the miners. And that kind of brings us to the bigger picture of why do you own gold?
Yeah.
You don't really buy gold to make a quick profit. It's not really a trading mechanism. You buy the miners as speculations. Gold is your investment. It's something that you own for the long term.
Okay, but the question many investors have is how can I pick these winners, E.B.? Like, you're in the space, you work alongside a legend, Doug Casey, you have access to this information. How can an everyday person do their homework here?
I'm going to tell you something that's really going to be shocking, but when you see a big move in the sector, the stocks that have been the dogs actually move more than the stocks that have been really good. So don't spend as much time during a big move in the sector picking apart every single detail about each stock. It's really hard to understand that, but when you have this move, everything rises.
So you want to find the ones that are really at the bottom of the barrel right now?
That's right. Let me give you a really specific example.
Yeah.
So 8, 9 years ago, we both knew Alexco.
Right.
We watched the stock go to $9.
Yeah.
Tremendous fall, much bigger than a lot of its peers. And then in 2016, pull up a chart of what happened. Alexco went screaming. And it's a good company, but it's had a really hard time, and it rallied more than some of the blue chips in the sector.
All right, point me. Now, you, E.B., are known as the gold landlord. I love that nickname they've given you because you've convinced Metalla, the company that you're behind, to pay a dividend.
That's right.
Right, which is really, we know this industry is adverse to paying dividends. So how did you break through here?
It's an important question. So when you invest in this space, you've got to separate your speculations from your investments. So speculation is something that you bet a little amount of money on, hoping that it'll go up a lot and create a lot of capital for you. But that's very different from an investment. So an investment should make a profit, and then a good company, a really good investment, should give you some of that profit back. So we started Metalla to buy gold and silver royalties. We buy deals that make money, and then we take some of that money and give it back to shareholders monthly. Now, I convinced the board, I have rental property in Florida, I get checks every month, there's no way I'm selling that property. And I said, if we pay people and give them a direct link to gold and silver royalties, every single month they get a check and they see it tied. As gold and silver go up, their check goes up. As the royalties grow in our portfolio, their check increases. They're going to hold that as a long-term investment.
And Metalla's in silver right now.
Mostly in silver.
Are you looking? Could that change?
We have an asset, a Goldcorp Soil Pond extension. We have 2% on that, so gold will begin to come into the mix. But right now, we're all silver. It's really incredible that we ended up in the beginning stages. Our pipeline is all silver. So this recent quarter, 96,000 ounces of silver. If silver moves $1, we capture that dollar. It's really great.
E.B., I mentioned you work alongside Doug Casey, so I'm sure every day you're just learning something new. What's some of the best advice he's given you?
Well, you have to enjoy life. I mean, these bull markets come, the stocks go flying, everyone loses their mind, and then they go down and everyone wants to quit. And these cycles these are our friends. These are not our enemies. So when we see this cycle coming in, we want to know what to do, and that's what we talk about in the newsletter.
Well, just one final point. I've come back, from so many conferences where people just seem to have almost given up on gold, saying, the momentum's not here. 1,300 gold is great, but it's not moving anywhere. We need a rally here.
Yeah, you're going to get it.
Yep.
You're going to get it. This is exactly the time when something that's unrelated sets off a gold rally. And it's time, the charts say it's time, the gold-silver ratio says it's time, but it's not going to come.
This year?
That's right. It's not going to come from where you think. It's going to come from left field. It always does. And you'll see a big move in gold, and I think we're going to be off to the races.
E.B. Tucker, thanks so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching. We'll be back tomorrow.